Andy Purewell for Boxing News. I'm joined by George Groves here in Saudi Arabia. George, Alexander Usyk is the new undisputed king, the two-weight undisputed king in the heavyweight division now. What did you make of that fight?
Great fight, wasn't it? It was a really, really good, entertaining fight. And when you're so heavily invested in a fight anyway, you think, I'm going to watch it regardless, I'm probably going to enjoy it. But that one, it ebbed and flowed. It had drama. It swung one way then the other. It sort of had everything in that regard. So it was a great fight. I really enjoyed it.
Those middle rounds seemed to be Tyson really kind of taking control, and then obviously Alexander grew back, and that ninth round was huge for him. Did you see him finding that rhythm again when Tyson just seemed to gain a little bit of control in the fight?
Yeah, well, it started off, I gave the first 3 rounds to Usyk, you know, so I don't know if that's the same for everyone, but I just thought, because he was pressing the action and he was landing more shots, neither of them landed anything particularly eye-catching, but he was nice and sharp. He wasn't really getting caught with anything. He was catching the body shots, and I thought, I'm going to give him these rounds. But this intensity, is this actually you going to pay to suffer for it later on? Covering more distance, fighting the bigger man. And then, yeah, Fury doesn't he? He comes into his own. He starts landing big shots of himself. Not loads, but there was one that was like, was it a left uppercut or a right uppercut? Usyk sort of stumbles back. Orthodox v southpaw. Sometimes don't know if it's just a balance thing, but he sort of looked like he'd set in his ways, found his timing, and found his groove. And that's what Usyk does well as well. It's like he just end of a round comes out, changes up the tempo. He always adds throughout his fights. You know, it looks like he doesn't hit you hard in the first half of the fight, as cringe as that is, and then the second half of the fight he puts a little bit more on. He waits till the pace really slows, so he knows he's not going to miss with them shots. And sort of the loopy southpaw left hand worked time and time again. Choppy right hook came round as well. He landed plenty of good shots.
A few people online suggested that maybe the fight could have been stopped on that 10-8 round. Do you think it was close to that being the outcome?
Well, I think the referee must call it like a standing 8 count because the ropes kept him up, which I think he's allowed to do. I think that is within the rules. But to be honest, Fury did look like he was a punch or two away from getting heavily stopped, you know, or at least dropped. Or if Usyk had landed a few, the referee could have just as well jumped in and stopped the fight. So it's down to his discretion. There's a lot of money here. There's been a lot of money spent. So maybe the fighters want an early night. But if we get a few extra rounds, great. And you know, it was a close decision. I thought Usyk won. It was a close decision, and if it had gone in Fury's favour, then there might be a lot more drama right now after that sort of incident. But that was like another level up in terms of the swing in Usyk's favour. Like from there on in, it looked like if he can put a couple of shots together, he's going to get rid of Fury. So it was great.
George, his final is undisputed at cruiserweight. He's undisputed now at heavyweight. Where does Alexander Usyk rank in terms of his legacy, pound for pound status, GOAT status? Where would Alexander Usyk rank now?
Oh, he's got to be up there, isn't he? He's got to be up there. So like, pound for pound's always hard. That's always the debate to always have, because you know you've got Crawfords, you've got Canelos, you've got Inoue's, you know. So like, he's in that caliber now. He's in that caliber. And this, in some ways, is a pound-for-pound fight because he's giving away so much weight and size, and he's still done the job. You know, you couldn't say that Crawford could go up and beat a Canelo, yeah. So, you know, I put him up there. Only time will tell in terms of where you place him in the all-time greatest list. But he's got to be up there because he's in the modern era of giants, and he's beating them. So the fact that, you know, Vander Holyfield did it, but he beat Tyson, who's 5'10", 5'11". You know, he's gone in and beat Tyson Fury 6'9". So he's, you know, you got to put him in there. He's an exceptional talent.
George, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your time here in Riyadh.
No worries, man.